Welcome back to my channel, and today I'll be talking about degrassi couples, and and then she's trying to like be like a teen mother, and then on top of that he's like mad at her because she didn't say anything, but it's like you were the reason why she didn't say anything, because you were the one that did not want to be a part of the child's life. Oh god, their relationship gives me a headache. And then on top of that, he literally ends up deciding that he wants to be back in the child's life or whatever. So he starts like trying to be a responsible father. He basically ends up cheating on her with Marisol, and then she whacks him with the guitar. Which people be like, oh, that's domestic youth, da, da, da. But he deserves it. What do you expect? You think somebody gonna laugh and smile and chuckle with you while you cheat on them? Especially since the only reason why he wanted to like do it, well, to me, kind of like wanted to take more shifts with like Marisol so she could continuously cheat on them. Cause like there's a scene where he tells his friend like he's mad at his friend for ratting him out about like cheating on his girlfriend with Marisol, and then he's like, oh, why'd you rat, and da 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 da, and then that happens, and it's like, what do you expect? If it would have been a whole thing and more yelling, more screaming, more of them fighting and all that stuff. And they just did not make any sense to me as like a couple. Like there weren't any moments where you look at them and be like, oh, they're cute, they're adorable, they're healthy, they're gonna last long. When you looked at them, you were like, why are these two together? They're awful. And all that stuff. And I generally didn't really like Jenna and all that stuff, but after she went through what she went through with Casey, I felt bad for her. But at the same time, it was kind of like how you get him is how you lose him. So there's that. And then there's Casey. He really had no development at all, and the only reason why he wanted to get back with her was because she no longer wanted to be with him, and she probably felt like he was losing control, and then she put him up for adoption because rightfully so, it's hard to be a teen mom and stuff. So I agree with Jen. So if you ask me, I'm gonna rate their coupling a 3 out of 10, just for the fact that I did not like them together and I would never like them together. So they're gonna get a 3 out of 10, and that's it. My next coupling right here is Holly J. Sinclair and Declan. Honestly, they are my OTP when it comes to coupling. And in my head, what happened was that they met each other in a university or whatever. Holly J got a scholarship and enough money, and they got married, had 2 kids, and she's the sister-in-law for Fiona. That is what happened. I don't believe in anything else, because they were my favorite couple. They were healthy, they had chemistry, they were good for each other, they communicated, they were everything that, I don't know how to explain it, but like they were just so right for each other. Maybe right person, wrong time, I don't know, but in my head, they're my favorite coupling, and no one can tell me differently. Like, no one's gonna sit here and say something different to me, because they're my OTP. I shipped them since I was little, and I shipped them to the day I die. I'm gonna give them a 9 out of 10. This coupling, I didn't really mind them, but I just did not care for them in that way. And I just did not understand the point of them being together. It just never made any sense to me. Maybe the writers, but I just did not care for them. I'm not gonna lie, their relationship was cute and they were healthy, but whenever I saw them, I just didn't really care for them like that. It just came off a little bit as cringy, but that's just me. I'm gonna give them an 8 out of 10. Okay, and here's my next coupling, and my other OTP that I love so much is Ellie and Davis. They're so healthy, they're so mature, their chemistry is amazing, and they just work so good together. And I just feel like out of all the people that Ellie has dated, like all the men that Ellie has dated, I feel like he has just been the best one because he's really just been so good to her. Even though at the time, like, she was with someone who wasn't good to her, who was like downright awful to her, but that's a different part of that I'm gonna explain in this YouTube video. And I just love them together so much. Like, in my head, if they ever do like a reboot or something for them, they have kids and all that stuff, and they're married and they've got like good careers. That's what I see. But I just love them so much. They're so cute. He, in degrassi history, is one of the worst and awful boyfriends y'all can have. This man literally sat here and beat her like 3 times. And on top of that, this man has also literally, like, the first red flag in the show for him was like when she wanted to study and she wanted to, like, you know, do the day with him at the same time, and he didn't really like that. He was like, "Oh, you're just using me," and da 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 da. And it's like, homegirl just wants to pass her class. That's all. And in his head, it was like, oh, she was just using him and all that stuff. And it's like, she just want to pass her class. And then after he got mad and all that stuff, and then he literally like dragged her and all that stuff, and then just got mad at her. And then there was the other time where they got into an argument and he like beat her and then threw her out of the car. And then on top of that, there was like the other, pretty much other beatings, him stalking her and all that stuff. The list for their relationship, mostly him, not even mostly, all of him. And then after that, he just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And then she would forgive him. He would continuously keep doing it, continuously keep beating on her character. And then after that, they got. So for me, I would literally rate their relationship a 0 out of 10 just because of how toxic it was and how abusive he was towards her. Now, is Eli and Drew, I have nothing to say about this pairing. The only thing I can say is that they just didn't make any sense together, and them catching feelings didn't make any sense together, because all I saw between them was just a good friendship. But for some reason, degrassi was like, no, they can't just be friends. They have to have feelings for each other, and they have to date, and they have to be in a relationship, and they have to hook up and stuff like that, which makes no sense to me, and all that. It just does not make any sense. I would rate this a 0 out of 10 too. Another pairing that technically isn't a pairing but is a pairing to me, and this one at the same time it's not, because they didn't technically date, was them. This one just did not make any sense because Bianca could never like date Adam like that, and it just didn't make any sense for the writers to do that. And then he probably would have had like a very hard time having to like cover up and all that stuff. And there's that. I just did not understand that. It was just, oh yeah. I give them a 2 out of 10. How is this one? I'm not gonna lie, this is also one of my favorite pairings because I just feel like they just made so much sense and they developed so well together and they got through a lot and all that stuff. And I just found them to be really cute and really adorable and all that stuff. I just hate it when the fact that he had to cheat. It just seems so out of character for him because he had so much love for her and then he just did that and then they just like got back together and all that stuff. I don't understand that. For me, it's a 3 out of 10. Now, this is the next pairing we're going to talk about because they're very interesting. Although I did never see the appeal of them, some people did. I did not see the appeal of them at all. He treated her awfully and made her like just I don't even know how to explain. I was like, he just did not treat her right, and on top of that, lied to her, and then tried to make up for it, and then she didn't take him back, rightfully so. But he just was not a good boyfriend towards her. And I guess the only way that he did become one was when she started like showing him stuff, and then she did something that he did not like, and then they got into a whole fight. So their relationship went down the toilet. I'm gonna give them a 4 out of 10. And that's me being generous towards them. I just did not like them together, looking back at it. Then there's this pairing to me. They just made no sense because it was just them constantly going back and forth, and Riley wasn't ready to come out yet. And it just made no sense. They make my head hurt. Watching them, they just make my head hurt. And then, like, by the time that they did, like, want to come out and all that stuff, and this scene happened, it just made no sense. They were just over with. And then there's this couple. They're actually one of my favorites because, like I said, they're healthy, they're cute, they have good chemistry, and they were kind of just like, how do I say this? Like, you weren't expecting them to get together, but after they got together and you saw how they were with each other, you're kind of like, oh my god, they make such a good couple because when they came together, it was just like so adorable, and they were just so healthy and respectful and loving and communicative and all that stuff. They were just so good together. To me, I wouldn't say they're the perfect couple, but they're better than most of the couples in degrassi, and they're one of my favorites. And then there's this couple which I actually like too, looking back on it, and I was kind of sad because number one, Imogen, she just disappeared out of thin air after like the graduation, the funeral, and everything, and I just thought they were super cute. And then last but not least was Adam and Becky. Such an interesting relationship. Do I like them together? I don't even know. They kind of just confuse me, but I'm happy for their characters. And that's it. I would rate them